And I'd say it's 1 o'clock. Roll call. Mr. Cross.
Present.
Mr. Holland's me, and I'm here. Mr. Colhitz. Here. Ms. Pocan.
I am here online.
Five of us. Aaron, can you help us out with the public involvement announcement, please?
Yes, AMAT's committee meetings are open to the public. The public is provided an opportunity to comment at each meeting. Business items are first presented by staff or consultant. After the committee discusses the business item, the public is invited to formally comment. Each participant will have 3 minutes to speak on their topic. Couple of housekeeping items. If you're joining us virtually and you're not a member of the committee, please turn your camera off when you're not speaking on an item. If you're joining us by phone, to mute and unmute the microphone, press *6. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. We have a movement to approve the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second. Moved by Mr. Colhitz, seconded by Member Bowman. Any proposed changes? Hearing none, are there any objections to adopting the agenda? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. For agenda item number 4, we have before us the minutes from the January 18th, 2024 meeting for approval. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Cole, seconded by Mr. Cole. Are there any changes or discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, are there any objections to approving the minutes? Are there any objections to approving the minutes, I guess? Hearing none, the January 18th, 2024 minutes are approved. Moving on to action item 5A, air quality conformity determination for the 2050 MTP. Aaron, do we have a presentation?
Yes, this item will be Chelsea Ward-Waller.
Good afternoon, everybody. Kelsey Ward-Waller, AMAT staff and project manager on the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan. Today we are requesting your review and approval of the air quality conformity determination for the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan. Technical Advisory Committee recommended approval at their February 1st meeting. The air quality conformity determination ensures that the MTP doesn't hinder the attainment or continued maintenance of the national ambient air quality standards. And we're required to do this as part of the MTP process as well as the TIP process. We have in our AMAT's planning area both a CO limited maintenance area and a PM10 limited maintenance area in Eagle River. So we have to have an air quality conformity determination on those two pollutants based on monitoring data. We held, there was an interagency consultation team meeting on October 25th, including representatives from the English Health Department, the Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation, Alaska DOT, Federal Highway, Federal Transit, and US EPA. And it was supported that we will, by the team, that we will continue demonstrating our compliance with those areas. And then we put that air quality conformity determination out for public comment for 30 days between October 31st and November 29th. No comments were received. This air quality conformity determination must be approved by FHWA no later than August 24th, 2024, in order to ensure that AMATS is able to start new projects or new phases of projects already underway and not lose funding.
Chelsea, do we have any questions or comments from the committee? Hearing none. Are there any comments from the public? Hearing and seeing none, what is the will of the committee?
This is Emma. I would move to approve.
Ms. Pocan, seconded by Mr. Cross. Oh, I guess we can go right to, are there any objections to approving the motion? Hearing none, the motion is approved. So the air quality conformity determination for the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan is action item 5B is the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan.
Be Chelsea as well.
Chelsea again.
Again, this is Chelsea Ward Waller, a math staff and project manager on the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan. The action requested today is that the policy committee review and approve the 2050 MTP Metropolitan Transportation Plan, including the AMAT's comment response summary. The technical advisory committee recommended approval at their February 1st, 2024 meeting. As you are likely aware, work on the AMAT's 2050 MTP began in June 2021, before I was staff to AMAT's, with a great group and a great contractor, R&M, to help prepare and develop the document. Our federal deadline, as I mentioned with the air quality conformity determination, is August 24th, 2024. The MTP has a horizon year of 20 years and must be updated no later than every 4 years. There were multiple phases, many of which came to this committee before going on to the next phase. This committee reviewed the goals, objectives, performance measures, and prioritization criteria, the scenario development, the recommended project list based on the fiscal analysis, the draft plan, and the public comment summary. The draft 2050 MTP was released for public review on August 10th, for 2023 for a 60-day comment period. We really appreciate all the comments that we received during that time. We received over 1,000. We received 1,244 comments from 202 commenters, multiple organizations, agencies, the Native Village of Eklutna, and the Anchorage Assembly were included in that. Changes to the draft 2050 were made based on the public comments that came through, and based on the public comments that were reviewed by the Technical Advisory and Policy Committee, and then your recommended changes based on those public comments in the November and December 2023 meetings. So the updated draft today includes the changes that you requested.
Are there any questions or comments from the committee? Mr. Cross.
I know that we, again, that we removed the Eagle River Road project.
I don't believe from the MTP.
No.
Still-
Okay. I'm sorry, you're right. I was just looking through it. Thank you. Never mind.
Any other comments?
Just a general comment, Mr. Chair. I think I want to thank staff for the work on this, but also for the format, which is, I think, changed significantly since earlier versions and really displays the information well and easy to follow. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, how about any comments from the public?
I have a comment on the Eagle River Road project, please.
Sure, go ahead.
Can you state your name for the record, please?
Sure, this is Sarah Davenport, and I live on Upper Terrace Street, which is at mile 5.3 on Eagle River Road. So I'm calling in support of the Eagle River Road Reconstruct project. I know it's on the MTP, but it appears to have been removed at AMAT's request. This project has been in the works for an extremely long time, and the community did a really good job of writing in and supporting this getting on the MTP. It's very disappointing to find out that of all the 100 projects, 2 were from Eagle River, and now we've effectively been given potentially 1 of Artillery Road. This pathway will connect my 3 children that go to Ravenwood Elementary and a lot of other kids out here to the community where they go to school. Right now, at mile 5.3, we have a very steep downhill grade and 2 curves with guardrail directly on the edge line of pavement. So it's very, very dangerous for pedestrians and bike riders. So we're effectively cut off from the school district out here. When we did choose to live out here, back when they had paper newspapers, if you can believe it, this project was in the news. So that was one of the main things that made us think like, well, you know, we're going to be connected soon and it'll be okay to be a little bit rural. I had no idea that it would take this long. So I'm in support of the project. Another thing, as far as safety, is the bus routes out here. The kids don't get picked up at their houses. They have to walk down to the end of the street. So like if you look at O'Rider or Mile High, all those kids walk to the end of the street and then stand in the intersection to get picked up by the bus. And I think that this pathway would give them a safe, separated place to kind of stand outside of the roadway while they're waiting for the bus on these dark winter mornings. And that's all I have. If you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer.
I feel like we could help with like talking about where we are in the process, could help, and I could give it a shot, and please correct me when I'm wrong. So today, we're approving the Metropolitan Transportation Plan. That project that you're talking about is in the plan. At our last meeting, we approved to send the Transportation Improvement Plan 23 through 26 out for 45-day public review. So that's where we're at right now. A couple weeks left in that. Your comment is on the record. But I think I should encourage you to probably go online and also make your comment online for the on the AMAT's website. On the home page, there's a spot to make that comment.
Okay.
Yes, so, and yes, that amendment number 2 did remove that project. At the last meeting, I believe we added back in the pathway part of the project as an illustrative, which means that there's no funding identified, but it is on the project list. Did I capture that?
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
pathway, sorry, excuse me, the pathway was not entirely added back in. It was only 1.75 miles added back in, which is only Hillcrest to Mile High. It does not reach that dangerous portion. It does not go all the way out to a Reedner. So if we had to choose one thing or another, the road's okay maintenance wise. So let's do the whole pathway. Let's go Hillcrest to mile 5.3, which was in the original project. I'm not sure why only half of it would be included.
And I can speak on that, just for information, we're not back and forth here on this. So the 2040 MTP only included it up to Mile High Avenue, and that is the currently approved MTP. We can't add projects to our TIP that are not in the approved MTP. The full pathway is in the 2050 MTP, correct me if I'm wrong, and so we have to wait for the 2050 MTP to be approved before we can add it to the TIP. So we're in process, we just need to let the process play out before we can move forward on things. So, and we have gotten comments on the pathway in Eagle River. Please encourage everybody possible to go in and provide your comments for the record, because that helps when decisions are made and changes are made as to why it was made, and it's just not staff saying, yeah, this and that. So, you know, not just in this meeting, please go on the website online and you'll see the big button for it, as Sean said. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't have to respond to public comments, but I felt like that clarification would help you and potentially other people online that would have that same comment. So thank you. I see a hand raised in the crowd there. Please state your name, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
All right, sign me, please. Will Zagan, you guys are familiar with me. I just wanted to, I understand you're gonna approve the MTP as it is right now. I do feel like there is one Chugiakigo River project that was kind of lost in the shuffle. And that was the Paratus to Thunderbird connection. The current MTP says it is a grade separated crossing at a $10 million cost. That was not the project that was requested. I had asked, and Assembly Member Cross had asked that be rescored and re-estimated. Is there a way that could go in a memo with the MTP to recommend that project be looked at again as an amendment? And then secondly, just as you heard in preparation for the TIP comments, there is a lot of pushback from that cut to the Eagle River Road project, especially the last 2 miles of it. So I don't know if staff has a way to assess a smaller portion of that project, but to keep some of that project on there. So specifically the NMO 196 from the current MTP, if that could just be noted that it needs reassessment and hopefully inclusion. It was one of the top comments in the public comment
guess from my knowledge, Aaron, how often is the MTP amended?
Never,
Never? No.
because we're always in the middle of an update cycle.
Mhm.
As soon as we finish this, as soon as it's approved today, we'll be starting on the next update. There is never not a time when we're not updating the MTP.
It is, okay. Thank
That doesn't mean we can't do amendments.
you. Mhm.
It's just typically we don't because we're in the middle of an update cycle and things get messy. But if there's a desire for an amendment, it takes about 6 months to do an amendment, to get through all of our modeling, air quality conformity determination, fiscal analysis, and bring it back to the committees, do the public involvement, etc.
Are there any other comments? Mr. Cross?
Yeah, I would just reiterate what Mr. Tagan said, particularly regarding the Thunderwood Falls extension. We had discussed that, and the numbers that were thrown out were rather alarming, but I think those estimates were wildly inaccurate. And that was one of the reasons that it got dropped, was because the cost estimates were astronomical for a mile and a half worth of bike trail, to be $10 million plus. I think we were gold plating the street there. So, and so there's no utilities, I mean, what we were given as far as a price and then what the actual scope of work is actually much smaller. So I would appreciate if we revisit that. Thank you.
One last call for comments. Not hearing any. What is the will of the committee?
To approve the 2050 MTP. Should I say with the comment and response table as well?
Movement to approve. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Colhayes. Moved by Dr. Boland. Are there any objections to approving the motion? Hearing none, the motion is approved. The 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan. Moving on to. Any other action items? Aaron?
No, sir.
Moving on to agenda item 6A, the SIP amendment number 2 status update. We have a presentation.
That'll be 7. We don't have any 6.
Okay.
But
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, 7. Yeah.
So I just wanted to give the committees an update on where we're at with TIP Amendment 2. It's part of this process of just keeping you all informed and brought along, as well as the public. So we put the TIP Amendment number 2 out for a 45-day public comment period. I do want to say thank you very much for the members of the public who've already reached out to help make it a little easier to find for the public. I do appreciate that. We have submitted it for the Assembly's public hearing, which will be February 27th. So please go to that and provide your comments as well. And thank you for the Assembly members for the help on that item. And we're moving right along. So I just highly encourage people to provide their comments. Thank you.
I have one question. Typically, how long does it take for an amendment to process? This one was started in September.
So minimum is 5 months.
Then that's fine.
And that's from very beginning of when it's brought to the committees to be released for the public to see, through the public comment period, the Assembly comment period, then brought back to the committees, and then through FHWA and FTA final approval. I will note, depending on the status of the STIP, it may delay approval of our amendment number 2, because amendment number 2 cannot be approved if the STIP is not approved.
Are there any questions or comments from the committee besides mine, I guess? But
I have a question. So regarding that, I guess kind of clarification on what we need to do to fix that, because it looks like there's some things on our end. One is that I saw in the note that came from DOT that they didn't like the illustrative projects that we had, if I read that correctly. And so is there any action that we can take, or what we need to take immediately to make sure that we're remedying anything that we may have inadvertently done to create problems?
For the STIP? Yeah, no, that would have been for DOT. So it's mostly for DOT. There are some stuff we need to do, and that's our certification review corrective actions we have to do on EMAS's end, and we're already underway with those.
Okay.
2 of them are actually dependent upon admin mod or amendment number 2 being approved, because there were some changes we had to make to the TIP. So we're moving forward as quickly as we can with our stuff, but that doesn't hold up approval of the STIP because those are tier 2 changes. They have to work on tier 1 changes, and that's all DOT.
Excellent. It might be advantageous to get ahead of that because I know that there's been some concerns regarding the letter. And some recent things in the press. So maybe we can, maybe a formal statement on, what AMATs and what our group is doing in order to resolve these issues in an expeditious way. So that the imagination doesn't get the best of people.
So can I follow up, Mr. Chair? So the MTP and the TIP can have illustrative projects, correct?
Yes.
Separate from STEP.
Yes, correct. We can have illustrative projects in our NTP on it.
Any other comments or questions from the committee? Hearing none, are there any comments from the public? Yeah. We're moving on to agenda item 7B, March Policy Committee Agenda Review.
That'll be me. Again, this is part of our outreach effort with the committees and the public to let them know kind of what's coming up in March to get ready for that. We'll be doing it for the Technical Advisory Committee and the Policy Committee. So for the March Policy Committee agenda, a couple things to look forward to. First is the safety plan. Our hope is to bring that forward for final approval. That's dependent upon how the work session next week on February 21st goes. And just a reminder about the work session. It is February 21st. Let me get the info. It is from 2 to 4 p.m. in the Permit Center Conference Room 30. So where the Technical Advisory Committee normally meets. There's also a virtual option for those who can't make it in person. So just as a reminder, this is a work session for the PC and TAC to talk about items. The public is encouraged to attend. However, it is not a public, formal public meeting or public event for their comments. So if that is all moved forward, we'll bring it forward the safety plan for approval. And then there'll be two other items. One is staff is looking to provide comments on the Seward Highway to Glen Highway PEL. After attending that meeting, staff has some comments we would like to provide. And then the Community Advisory Committee for AMATs also has some comments on the Seward Highway to Glen Highway PEL that they would like to provide. So in order to provide those do have to go through the Technical Advisory Committee and Policy Committee for approval. So we are working diligently to get those ready to post to the agenda in a couple weeks. And that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Are there any comments or questions for Aaron from the committee? Hearing none, are there any comments from the public? Hearing none, we can move on to agenda item number 8, which is committee comments. Does the committee have any comments to add?
Well, nothing more than what you've already heard with public comment that we will be dealing with that, I imagine. I'm being lambasted over the removal of the Eagle River Road project, so I imagine that'll be a conversation we'll be having again.
Anybody else? No, I'm not hearing any more, so we're going on to agenda item number 9, which is public comments. Is there anybody from the public that would like to make a statement?
I just have a clarification,
State your name up front.
Sorry, Will Taken again, thank you. Aaron, when you said the MTP needed to be approved, that's not today, that's after the assembly and the DOT approve it to get tip stuff.
The Assembly nor DOT approves the MTP.
So it's approved now?
No, it has to go to FHWA and FTA for final approval. And I don't know how long that'll take. Typically a month, but it could take longer.
Okay, just wanted to know that. And then just thinking of next month for the Eagle River Road project, is there an option or a way for staff to price out to reduce the cost of that by reducing the mileage, focusing on the more dangerous section that is that 2 miles further out, where it starts going down the hill from basically 3.3 to 5.3? Is it possible to break that into a smaller project to make it more affordable?
The road project itself or the pathway? Into that and see if there's interest.
Just another third option that wasn't considered last time.
Thanks. Any Anybody else? Mr. Mask?
Sean Baskey, Highway Design for the Department of Transportation. So just a reminder that we've got the Anchorage Transportation Fair coming up on March 28th. So that's at the Alaska Airlines Center from 3 to 7 o'clock, I believe. And so AMATs and Municipality of Anchorage, DOT, the railroad, and a bunch of other folks will be there talking about transportation stuff in Anchorage, in and around Anchorage. And then DOT has a job fair that we're doing, and that is at the Lusac Library on the 21st of February, I believe. Yeah, and so that's from 1 to 7. So good opportunity to learn about any job opportunities at the Department of Transportation.
Anybody else? Any other public comments? Not seeing any. Is there a motion to adjourn? By Mr. Boland, Dr. Boland, seconded by Mr. Kraus. Did I hear?
Yes, sir.
Any objections to approving the motion to adjourn? Hearing none, we're adjourned.
Thank you. Have it.